Hey guys, Ginger here. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you guys a little mini haul because I haven't done one in a while, and for some reason I accumulated like a lot of books in like 2 days. So I'm just gonna show you guys what I got. Also, disclaimer, if you can't tell, I am sick. I am getting better. I'm on the upswing of the cold. But obviously my nose is still stuffy, so I probably sound weird, but it's fine. I needed a video for today, so we're here filming. And, but me being sick has meant that I'm not reading a lot, which I know is probably the opposite for some people, but, like, I've been sleeping a lot. So we're in the middle of Spookathon right now, and I am not getting a lot of reading done, so hopefully we can change that and I can get a few more books done this weekend before the end of Spookathon. But today we are talking about books that I bought. So I got, let me count actually because I didn't count before this. I got 10 books here to share with you guys, and I believe I got all these for under $30. I took a trip to Half Price Books, which it's about 2 hours away from me to go there, but I had a doctor's appointment, so I went. And then I also stopped at Goodwill the day after that just for fun, because I hadn't been there in a couple weeks, and I found more books. So that is where I got the books in this haul, and they were all obviously cheaper than full price. I got mostly backlisted titles and one newer book, which was pretty nice for me because I usually buy them full price new, and this was new half price because Half Price Books. So without further ado, I'm just going to start talking about these books that I accumulated, and this is just a mini haul because in my other hauls I've had like 20 some books, and I've done like all the books I've accumulated in a couple months, and this one is just like a recent one because I haven't done one in a while and I felt like sharing, and it's easy to film, so that's why you're getting this today. So I'm going to start off with my Half Price Books purchases, and then we will move on to the Goodwill ones. So I'm just gonna pick off from the top of the pile, and I'll show you guys what I got. So 2 of these books I actually got like from the main store section, and then the other 3 I got from the clearance section because the clearance section is just amazing, and I love getting books for as cheap as possible because I like collecting books. So the first one I have here is Redwall by Brian Jacques, and I've been wanting to read this one for a while now because it is about mice who fight each other, I believe, and I'm into animal books, and I've heard that this one is really good, and so when I saw it there, I picked it up because I've seen other Redwall books like in the series, but never the first one. So when I saw it there and it was only $5, I picked it up because I've been wanting to read it for a while now. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I'm glad that I have it now because it's one that I've been like, I want to read this, but I don't know how badly I want to read it. Like, I didn't buy it in any of my online hauls, but when I saw it in person, I picked it up. So like I said, I know this is about like rodents and mice and them like fighting and whatnot, but as for the plot, I'm not sure, but I'm still really excited that I bought it. So that's that one. And then the next 3 are ones that are clearance ones, and I'm actually pretty excited about this because these are all books that I've wanted to try, but I would not pay full price for because of one reason or another. So the first one I have here is Passenger by Alexander Bracken, and for this one, this is about our main character, Etta. Etta is her name, and she ends up time traveling, I believe, back in time, and she's on a pirate boat. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the reason I did not want to pay full price for this one, even though a lot of people have said this was pretty good, and when I started BookTube, this was a big one, was because I tried reading The Darkest Mind by Alexander Bracken, and I really did not like it. And part of it was the plot, part of it was the writing style. So I am hesitant when it comes to Alexander Bracken's writing style and if I'm going to like it or not. But this was only $3, and it's a really nice hardcover. So I decided, hey, I'm going to pick it up and give it a try because it was cheap. And it has been one that I've wanted to pick up. I just have been hesitant because of my previous experience with this author. So I picked up this one. And then the next one here is by an author that so far I have liked her writing a lot, but this specific book of hers has not been as popular as her other ones. But it does have an interesting plot. So I've still been wanting to read it. So when I saw it for $3, I was like, I will give it a try. And that is Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. And this is in hardcover, and I've never actually seen it in hardcover. So that was cool. So I love Libba Bray's writing style. I love The Diviners. I have her other series, A Great and Terrible Beauty, the first one, on my TBR as well. And so when I saw this one was for this price, I picked it up. And this is about a group of like beauty queens who are stranded on an island, I believe, and they have to survive. And that's pretty cool, in my opinion. I love America's Next Top Model, and this kind of gives me that vibe, but if they were stranded on an island. And I like survival books, so the premise does interest me, but I just remember that people were saying that this wasn't her best book, so that's why I didn't feel like picking up for full price. But when I saw it on the clearance rack, I decided I was going to pick it up because it is one that I've been interested in, just didn't want to pay full price for. And then this other one is kind of funny because it was actually still in the new section, so it was pretty expensive. But this copy was on the clearance section for $3, so instead of buying it for like $13, I got it for $3. And this is one that's been out for a while, but it's going to be pretty hard-hitting from what I believe. And when it came out, I really, really wanted to read it because it's something that intrigues me. And that is This Is Where It Ends by Mariachi Nikon. I'm sorry, this one's a hard author to pronounce. This is about a school shooting, and so obviously that is very hard-hitting and something that is very prominent in our world today. And I'm going to be a teacher, so this is kind of scary to think about, but it's something that intrigues me to read about, you know, this kind of stuff and why it happens. And I really do want to read more about this stuff, but again, this was one that I remember seeing when it came out and really interested me, but it was always really expensive, so when I found it for clearance, I picked it up because it's been on my radar for a while, so I figured I could pick it up. Then the last one from Half Price Books, I'm sure you guys won't be surprised, is the newest Warriors series. The first one in the series is called Lost Stars. It's pretty freaking tiny, and it was $9, and they're normally $18. So I got it for half off. I had to think. And it does have a tiny bit of damage right here. And usually, like I said, I get mine for like perfect price. But I will live. And what I love about these books, look how pretty this one is they always have a poster underneath the cover. And so I could just have like a whole wall of Warriors posters if I didn't want the dust jackets on them, but obviously I do. And honestly, we don't need more Warriors books, but I'm gonna continue to collect them because they're my favorite of all time. And I am due for a reread, but I do not feel like rereading like 30 books when there's so many new ones to read. So that's that. And there's also like 3 new special editions I need to get, but there's only one copy of this, and I figured if I could save $9, I could save $9, so I got it because I have to get all of the Warriors books. Alright, and then the last 5 books are from Goodwill. And I was actually pretty surprised to find these because one is a box set that I got for $2, and one is a pretty popular book that I got for $2. So the first book actually is one that I never heard of. But then when I saw it and it was a high fantasy adult novel, I looked it up on Goodreads and saw that a few people I follow have read it. And even though they gave it average ratings, overall the rating was like 4.4 or 4 point something on Goodreads, and that's pretty freaking high. So I decided to pick it up because it was $1, and that is A Theft of Swords by Michael Sullivan. And this is actually the first volume, which means I believe it has 2 novels in it. This is pretty chunky. But from what I read, this is about two men who are blamed for the murder of a king. And they are pretty much being like, oh hell no, we didn't do this. And fighting back. So, that's intriguing to me. I like fantasy novels. I like this kind of stuff. So I decided I was going to give it a try, especially because it was only $1. And I can never have too many high fantasy adult books, even though I haven't read one in like 7 months. So I really need to get on that because I just keep getting more and more for my collection. And then we have the box set that I found. And this is actually one that like I've been interested in, but not to the point where I was going to buy the whole series and like binge it right now. And I have a few other books from other series by this author, but then I saw this one was the whole trilogy of this one. I was like, well, of course I'm going to buy it because I totally don't need it, but I want it. So that is, I believe, the Heir Trilogy by Cinda Williams-Chima. The Heir Chronicles, excuse me. But this is all 3 of the first books. I looked up on Goodreads again to see which series this was, or like where it plays in her world, because I have the Dragon King, which is the 7 realms, and then I have Flamecaster, which is the Shattered Realms, and they like go together, and I think this is also in this world, but I don't really know. I have to look into it more. But there were actually 5 or 6 books, but it's kind of like the selection series type of thing where there was originally a trilogy and then more books got released. So I was fine with picking up the trilogy because I might only just read these. But also finding a box set like this at Goodwill is pretty cool. And so I picked it up because it's fantasy and I've heard lots of good things about Cinda Williams-Chima. So that's that. And I don't know where I'm going to put this on my shelf because I literally have no room on my shelves again, even though I have so many. So yeah, I don't know how this is going to work. And then the last book here, I've just been talking a lot, but I've actually been explaining what the books are about for once instead of saying, I don't know what this is about. And then the last book was one that I almost skipped over because I didn't see it at first. But then when I did, I was like, oh, okay. And it's actually one that I was vaguely interested in, but again, not enough to buy it full price because it just wasn't like at the top of my list. But when I saw it, I got it. And that is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. And the newest one in this series came out, I believe, which is Killing the Devil or something. I don't know. But yeah, when I saw this there, I was like, am I seeing this correctly? And I did. So I picked it up. And I've heard some mixed things about the 3rd one, I think. But I've heard that the 1st and 2nd one are pretty good. So that's why I picked it up. And this follows our main character, who's a girl, Audrey Rose. See, I couldn't remember that. And she pretty much wants to be like a detective or a forensic scientist, deals with dead bodies. And in this book, she is like trying to solve the case of Jack the Ripper. I'm pretty sure that's what I remember everyone's saying this is about. And so yeah, I picked it up because it was there and I was pretty surprised to find it there. And since it was only $2, I figured I could add it to my collection because it is something that I wanted to read. It just wasn't at the top of my list. So yeah. So there you have it, guys. Those are the 10 books that I've gotten recently. Let me know if you've read any of them or recommend any of them to be added to the top of my list. Even though I lately have just been picking and choosing books by my mood because of how busy I am. But I have been doing